Good morning, friends. Ann here. Got my cup of coffee, got the Word of God, and today's reading is John chapter 8. John chapter 8 begins with a beautiful story of this woman who Jesus met in the middle of her shame and her grief, and he forgave her and offered her mercy. And friends, I'm going to talk about that in my message on Sunday. So make sure that you come back to our Facebook group for that. But I want to give you guys a little bit of an overview of the rest of the chapter. So there is a lot of disagreement between the Pharisees and between Jesus. So I don't know if, as we've been going through all of these stories with these encounters with Jesus, if y'all have noticed how much time Jesus spends correcting and dealing with the accusations of the Pharisees, how they're always coming to him, trying to prove him wrong, trying to pepper him with questions that will get him to crumble, that will prove to other people that he has no authority. All of this continues to happen in John chapter 8. But I really want to focus in on one particular part that is the section that is verses 31 through 36. This is what it says. Jesus said to the people who believed in him, "You are truly my disciples if you remain faithful to my teachings, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." "But we are descendants of Abraham," they said. "We have never been slaves to anyone. What do you mean you will set us free?" Well, first of all, they were slaves in Egypt, which is where God freed them from slavery to begin with. But what they're saying is we are not bound to anybody. We have not, since that time, been slaves. Why are you saying that we are slaves? Jesus is not talking about a physical shackling, a physical slavery. He's talking about something much more. And he goes on to say this. Jesus replied, "I tell you the truth, everyone who sins is a slave of sin. A slave is not a permanent member of the family, but a son is part of the family forever. If the Son sets you free, you are truly free." Friends, it occurs to me that many people who live outside of a faith in Jesus think that they are free because they get to do anything they want to do. They think that their sin gives them freedom to fulfill their desires and to pursue their wants without any kind of restriction. But friends, what they don't see is that even though they seem to be physically free to do anything, they enter themselves into spiritual bondage. Spiritual bondage to sin, to their own selfishness, to their own desires. And Jesus says, if you don't know me, you don't know freedom. Friends, the only way that we can find freedom is by surrendering ourselves to Jesus. And what we discover is that when we surrender ourselves to Jesus, he comes in and he changes our desires. We no longer have the desire to enslave ourselves to sin, to pursue our own selfish gain, to prove that we are right, that we are better, that we are more than others. Friends, when we know Jesus, we will know freedom. When we don't know Jesus, we will never know freedom. Friends, know Jesus, no freedom. Know Jesus, no freedom. Have a good day.